Oh, hey there. Would you like to read this story with me? We're going to read a story called What's So Terrible About Swallowing an Apple Seed? And the author of this story is Harriet Lerner and Susan Goldor. The illustrator is Catherine O'Neill, so she drew the pictures. I'm glad you're joining me today. Let's read. One day, Rosie and her big sister Katie were sitting in their favorite tree eating crisp red apples. Crunch, 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 crunched Rosie. Munch, 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 munched Katie. Crunching and munching and crunching, Rosie and Katie ate their apples right down to the core. Suddenly, Rosie said, "Ah, I swallowed an apple seed." "Whoops, I swallowed another one," she giggled. "Oh no," said Katie in her most worried voice. "Watch out." "Why?" asked Rosie. "What's so terrible about swallowing an apple seed?" Katie thought real fast. "Well," she said, trying to sound smart, "that apple seed is going to grow into a tree right inside your stomach. That's what's so terrible." "But how can it grow into a tree inside my stomach?" asked Rosie. "It's easy," answered Katie. "It's nice and warm down there. It's just the right place for a seed to grow." Rosie thought for a long time. "But trees need sunshine to grow. It's dark in my stomach." "Well, of course," said Katie. Like most big sisters, she always had an answer for everything. "It's dark in the ground too when you plant seeds there. But when the branches of your apple tree get big enough, they'll grow out your ears, and they'll get all the sunshine they need." Rosie sat very still. She thought she could feel the tree starting to grow inside her stomach. "What should I do, Katie?" she asked. "Let's keep it a secret until the branches start to show." "Okay," said Rosie. She always thought that her sister knew best. Every night, Rosie asked Katie to look in her ears with a flashlight to see how the apple tree was growing. And every night, Katie said, "I can see it. I can see it. I'm almost sure I can see the tip of the branch down there." And every night, Rosie could not fall asleep for a long time. She could feel her ears itching, and she tried to imagine what she would look like with apple tree branches growing out of her ears. Rosie imagined problems. She looks worried, doesn't she? None of her hats would fit. She wouldn't fit through the school bus door. No more somersaults or handstands or jump rope. Goodbye haircuts. She would have to go to the woodcutter instead. All she could be when she grew up was a coat rack. Rosie felt very sad, and pretty soon Katie began to feel sad too. She knew a seed couldn't really grow in Rosie's stomach, and she hadn't known that a lie could grow so big, just like a seed grows into a tree. The bigger the lie got, the harder it was for Katie to tell Rosie the truth. So she used her imagination to cheer Rosie up. Every night, she would sit on Rosie's bed and tell her all the good things about having branches grow out of her ears. Rosie could reach up. She could pick an apple anytime she wanted. When they went to the beach, they would always have a shady spot to sit. If Rosie got lost at the ball game, they would always be able to find her. Rosie would never get lost again. All their friends could climb up and play on the branches. On birthdays, they could decorate her branches with ribbons and even candles. All the animals would be her best friend. Rosie felt much better. She told her friend Bonnie that she had a special secret. Tell me, begged Bonnie. I'm your best friend." Rosie handed Bonnie the flashlight and she said, "Look in my ears." "I don't see anything," Bonnie said. just a little ear dirt. Don't you see a branch? Asked Rosie. Nope, said Bonnie. Rosie thought about this, and she got madder and madder. Then she went and found her sister Katie. Bonnie looked in my ear, she told her big sister, and she didn't see a tree. You told me a lie. Katie said, I can't help it if you believe everything I say. But inside, she was glad that the lie was finally over. She hugged Rosie and she said, I'm sorry. It's okay, Rosie said, but I was kind of starting to like my apple tree. The itch in Rosie's ears went away, and that night, when she got into bed, she thought how nice it was to be like everybody else. But as she was falling asleep, she started to feel a little bit sad. Katie, Rosie said, I miss my apple tree. Katie understood. So she told Rosie a wonderful story about a little girl with apple tree branches growing out of her ears. In the spring, the little girl's head would be covered with apple blossoms. In the summer, birds would build nests and squirrels would play in their branches. And in the fall, she would bring apples to school for everyone to eat. And before Katie even got to winter, Rosie fell fast asleep. It's one of my favorite stories. I hope you enjoyed listening to it today. Bye-bye.